On the news this morning, Anambra State government reaffirms commitment to supporting and promoting indigenous goods. Anambra Assembly Speaker Okafor guarantees quick passage of 2022 revised budget. Nigeria to earn over $2 billion advertising revenue in 3 years as Russia is to build 12 new military bases in response to NATO expansion. Hello, beautiful morning to you and welcome to Breakfast News. I am David Okpokwasele. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Kwewulu Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him our maximum support for the task ahead. We begin from Nnewi, where Anambra State government has restated its commitment to supporting and promoting indigenous goods. The Deputy Governor, Dr. Onyeka Kwewulu, gave the assurance while speaking to the press shortly after inspecting Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company at Nnewi. Government House correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
Dr. Bezinku explained that promotion of locally made goods is one of the top priorities of the present administration. Encouraged manufacturers in the state to be quality conscious and stick to standards. He encouraged Anambra to key into the patronization of indigenous goods initiative so as to help boost the state's economy and encourage emergence of more factories in the state to reduce unemployment among youths. The Deputy Governor also revealed that as part of efforts of the Soludo government towards maintaining clean and healthy environment, the government is currently negotiating with waste bin manufacturing companies in the state, including the Innocent Company and others, so as to actualize its door-to-door stationing of waste bins for easy evacuation of waste.
We must encourage indigenous industries. That's the only way our economy can grow. It's part of the sustainability plan that we're putting behind, because if you evacuate, you must sustain. Everywhere it seems the more we evacuate, the more refuse come out. But that's the way it should be. The only thing the governor wants to see happen is a clean city. We are putting the structures for a clean city.
The chairman and managing director of Innocent Manufacturing Company, Chief Innocent Chukwuma, who spoke through the company's public relations officer, Mr. Cornelius Osigwe, assured that the company will continue to improve on the quality of its production.
The production of this keke is one of the things that we have done to support the administration. We are trying to produce a tricycle that will be cheaper, that the masses can be able to afford.
From Nnewi, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
Anambra State House of Assembly has reiterated its commitment to enacting laws and regulations aimed at improving the living standards of the citizenry as well as the development of the state. Right Honorable Okafor gave the assurance during the presentation of the 2022 revised budget of 170 billion naira by Governor Kwewulu Soludo at the State House of Assembly in Awka. Our House of Assembly correspondent Chukwuemeka Modelem now reports.
The Speaker noted that the contents of the revised draft state budget are structured in line with Governor Soludo's burning desire to run a quality government where people's welfare and total development of the state are guaranteed. Right Honorable Okafor said the House is happy with the urgent steps Governor Soludo has taken to ensure adequate security of life and property of Anambra and the placement of road infrastructure as among the top priorities of his administration. He appreciated the efforts of Governor Soludo and security agencies are making in the state towards the release of the kidnapped lawmaker Mr. Okechukwu Okoye, even as he assured the governor that the revised budget will receive expeditious consideration by the House. Commenting on the theme of the budget, taking off the block, the Commissioner for Information, Sir Paul Nwosu, explained that the budget will help the state government take off the ground and begin to build on what has been projected and estimated earlier by the previous administration.
Mr. Governor, you good steps so far in moving the state to greater heights. Anambra have no doubt that the contents of the revised draft state budget are structured in line with your burning desire to run a quality government where people's welfare and total development of the state are guaranteed. On behalf of members of the State House of Assembly, I sincerely, from the depth of our hearts, appreciate your efforts, Mr. Governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, and the security agencies in the state, the efforts we're making towards the release of our kidnapped colleague, Honorable Okechukwu Okoye. We pray that he will be released soon, unharmed, by the grace of God.
From the State House of Assembly, Chukwuemeka Modelem, ABS News.
Anambra State Commissioner for Information, Paul Nwosu, has visited the Anambra Printing Press as well as Anambra Library Services, all in Awka. Correspondent Chibuzo Okoye has the details.
Paul, who paid the visit alongside the permanent secretary and some top officers of the ministry, said that the essence of the inspection was to familiarize with what the two agencies are doing, inspect their equipment to address their challenges, to meet with Governor Chukwuma Soludo's vision of transforming the state. The Information Commissioner noted that he will work assiduously to ensure that all the moribund equipment at the Anambra Printing Press are revitalized, and commended the management and staff of Anambra Library Services for a job well done.
They are still active and alive. You know, I even see people using the library, you know, and I just commended the head of the library here that I liked what I saw. The place, the landscaping looking so lush and green. And when you go inside, you discover that even as massive as the place is, it's well kept, it's clean. I'm impressed. This is what you don't find in government establishments and things like that. And I can only ask her to keep it up.
The director of Anambra Library Services, Dr. Nkechi Udeze, assured that they will continue to work efficiently and urged the Anambra and other residents of the state to always bring their children and words to the library, as education remains the key to societal development.
The message I have to them is for them to continue to support library, everybody in the state, to help us to encourage children to read. The library is here for all of us. And the library is the best thing that any government can provide for society, so that children should be able to read, study, by good reading culture, do their exams by themselves. Because when you have materials for them to study, they should be able to study and do it by themselves.
The managing director, Anambra Printing Press, Mr. Emeka Obuzo, who took the commissioner and his team around its facility, used the opportunity to inform the commissioner of their needs in Awka. This is Chibuzo Okoye for ABS News.
Following a Save Our Soul SOS call to Anambra State government by Ogwa Nyocha community in Ogbaru local government area, the State Commissioner for Petroleum and Mineral Resources, Barrister Anthony Ifeanya, has midwifed a peace process that will lead to sustainable peace in the community. At a meeting with the Commissioner at Jorom Udoji State Secretariat in Awka, Ogwa Nyocha community leaders and representatives of Sterling Energy Exploration and Production Company, SIPCO, agreed to sign a global memorandum of understanding, GMOU, for continued oil exploration in the area under conducive atmosphere. Correspondent Joseph Ebocha reports.
Addressing the meeting, the President General of Ogwa Nyocha Progressives Association, Comrade Shid Eze, said residents of the community have been rendered homeless by the activities of the oil service provider, including loss of about 50 lives, and regretted that no meaningful project has been executed in the community by the oil company.
Since the crisis, in that woman, I am barrels of if are they making money, why can't you settle the people that you are in their place? They burn down our phone. I say, I'm the phone, and that is the end. Please, sir, I have told the Imo State to be CNO in another state. That is on the
Contributing, another community leader and chairman of GMOU committee, Mr. Tony Ebong, recalled that the Senate had since 2020 mandated the parties to sign the GMOU, which he alleged that the oil company has been reneging on, accusing it of instigating violence in the community. Attorneys to Ogwuanosha community, Chimezie and Mike Ebunike Esquires, called for committal date for signing of the GMOU. Denying some allegations leveled against it, the community relations manager and consultant to SEPCO, Mr. Austin Atuona, said the company had shown and is still interested in achieving peace in the area and has been carrying out community development programs in Ogwuanosha community.
Part of even they discuss now the GMOU were signed. Due to M1. Then issue of they are representing the community. Now this is because of this crisis. Now I like they find a letter-headed paper on that endorsed by the commissioner. And data not be discussed with the CEO this evening and communicate to the commission.
Addressing the parties, Commissioner Ifanya said achieving peace in all communities in the state is the desire of the Soludo administration, adding that aside contributing to the recognition of Anambra as an oil-producing state, oil exploration in Ogwuanosha under peaceful atmosphere is in the interest of the oil service provider and will add to internally generated revenue accruable to the state. He called on SEPCO to recognize the rights and benefits of the host community as stipulated in Petroleum Industry Act, which include but not limited to appointing a community liaison officer (CLO) and carrying out social responsibility programs, reminding that non-compliance attracts sanction.
We arrived at a good understanding. At least we ended on a good note to the effect that I've done it to the ears of the oil company SIPCO that they should do the needful, recognizing the rights of the host communities. At least their representatives that are here understood. Let's believe and hope that when they go home and tell their masters, they will also understand it, so that we'll take it from there.
The regent of Ogwuanosha community, Prince Reginald Nnaji, woman leader Mrs. Apollonia Ezenwa, youth leader Engineer Jude Onyede, among other eminent personalities from the community, participated in the meeting that was adjourned to hold before the end of second week of June for signing of the MOU. In Oka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
According to the Bible, there is time to sow and a time to reap. However, Mr. Bartholomew Kwewulu, after suffering to sow, it now seems his time to reap is getting distant and more far-fetched. Mr. Kwewulu, a 75-year-old businessman from Uhobo village, Okija, Ihia Council area of the state, had during his youthful days built a comfortable apartment to retire into with his family. But that dream was quashed when fire got the house on March 7, 2022. Correspondent Chibuzo Bidike has the details of
Narrating his ordeal, Mr. Kwewulu, a father of 8, said he received the shock of his life when the only building housing his family was burnt to ashes by fire as a result of mixed kerosene. According to him, after his journey as a businessman in Aba ended, he came home with his family and ventured into farming, but regretted the impact of the fire incident as they have been forced to the streets begging for alms. He noted that after the ugly incident, he was able to sell all his valuable property to commence the foundation of another structure, but the money from the property stopped at the window level, and pleaded with the state governments and well-meaning individuals in the state to assist him to have a roof over his head and that of his family.
Afambo Bat Kwewulu, Onyurubo Okija, in the local government, Anambra State. Biko Oko Barabem Eba, na March 7th, 2021. Oh, Oh, foundation can never Gamboga. Mana was here name. Takanji when I your government. Nande Shinaka Gosri. Abatar also in Yamaka. Na Miri na Mabumeba. And no one to JC.
For his 15-year-old daughter, Miss Chinaza Kwewulu, Her dream and that of her siblings to continue their education has been put on hold as they all struggle to feed and sleep in the little shanty house which used to be their kitchen. She said that it breaks her heart to see her father cry helplessly and asked for assistance, no matter how little, from the general public. To assist Mr. Bartholomew, Kwewulu kindly reach out to him on 070-6094-7465 from Okija in Ihiala local government area. Chibuzo Bidike, ABS News.
From Ihiala, we move to the national scene where the federal government says at the conclusion of the ongoing reform in the creative industry and advertising sector, the country will earn $2 billion in advertising within 3 years. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, stated this in Abuja at a technical session of the tax team on audience measurement inaugurated by the government. Mr. Mohammed said the 400 million naira the country was currently earning from advertising was unacceptable and reiterated the position of the tax team to raise it to $2 billion within 3 years. He said with the conclusion of the reform process, the entire creative industry would never be the same again. The minister commended the team's effort in ushering in a time of great prosperity for the entire creative sector. According to Mohammed, the government will create conducive business environment for all the international advertisers and agencies to rush to do business in the country. In business news, Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) has put all in place to implement an updated version of the Vehicle Identification Number (VIN) valuation system, which will capture accidented vehicles, depreciation in value, and other challenges early identified by clearing agents. Nigeria Customs Service said that the deployment and the implementation of the new VIN valuation system would commence on Monday. Recall that VIN valuation policy, which was first introduced in January 2022, had the duties payable on fairly used vehicles by more than 200% and was resisted by clearing agents. This led to protests that had the ports and activities around it shut down for about 2 weeks and created a backlog of uncleared vehicles at the PTML and Tinkan Island ports, thereby forcing the NCS to suspend the policy for 30 days. Addressing stakeholders in Apapa, the area controller of Apapa Customs Command, Controller Malanta Yusuf, described the VIN validation policy as a testament that customs will not stay static as the world evolves with automation. On the foreign scene, Russia will establish 12 new military bases in the west of the country in response to Sweden and Finland applying for NATO membership. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu made the announcement on Friday, saying that the new bases would be in place by the end of the year. He said 12 military bases and units will be deployed in the Western Military District, telling senior military and army officials that there was a growth of military threats on Russia's borders, blaming NATO and the United States. Russia's Interfax news agency reports that Moscow is taking adequate countermeasures in response to that perceived military threats in the West. This week, Finland and Sweden both formally applied for NATO membership, a move that was unthinkable before Russia's invasion of Ukraine on 24th February. And in sports, Nigeria showed her superiority over the West African neighbors after dominating the team event of the 2022 Western Region World Championships qualifiers taking place at the Molade Okoya Thomas Hall of Teslim Balogun Stadium. The singles event will take center stage as Fatima Bello and Rewan Akambi will be defending their titles against other players from Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, Senegal, Benin Republic, Niger Republic, Togo and Burkina Faso. The Nigeria women's team, led by the national champion Fatima Bello, did not drop a set in all their matches to emerge as team event champions with 3-0 wins over Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. Despite being flawless in their passage to the final, the Nigerian men's team had to come from behind to beat Cote d'Ivoire 3-2 in the final. And that's the news this morning. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Television Oka. You can follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And here are the main points again. We told you that the Anambra State government has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting and promoting indigenous goods. Anambra Assembly Speaker Okafo has guaranteed quick passage of 2022 revised budget. We told you that Nigeria is to earn over $2 billion in advertising revenue in 3 years, as Russia is to build 12 new military bases in response to NATO expansion. We remind you again that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promoting of core Igbo values. Let's give him our maximum support. Thanks for joining us on the news this morning. I am David Okwasile.